Scanning for audio.
Hello, welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, recorded while driving home from Hooverville. Yes, the recorder's on the dashboard of the car and I'm bored, so I'm going to record and talk to you. So I'm sorry if I'm rambling and I'm doing this without any notes whatsoever. That's fine. Right, as I drive past Sheffield, it's time for me to talk about Torchwood for the last time. Because yes, thanks to the BBC Previews Department, they gave me episodes, well, all of them. Now, episode 8 was reviewed at the end of last week's Tin Dog podcast and came live after Night Terrors, I believe. Now, rather than do episode 9 then episode 10, what I did was I enjoyed episode 9 so much that I watched episode 9 and 10 together. So I can't remember the things I'll be saying from episode 9 and the things I'll be saying from episode 10, if you see what I mean. So what I'm doing is I'm combining them both together, finishing off Torchwood, and then walking away. Hooray! No more Torchwood reviews for me. Oh, thank God for that. This is very odd for me, car casting. It's not for me, it's not the way forward at all. But it's a much nicer way of spending a trip than, say, just listening to nonsense. So, episodes 9 and 10. I'm going to assume you've seen them all, and if you haven't, stop listening. Keep the podcast, keep it on file, play it back another time. I'm recording this without any notes whatsoever, so bear with me if it all goes pear-shaped. Now, because I've been to the Hoovers convention today, I've been chatting to other people about what they thought of Torchwood. Not the official line, nothing exciting, just what they had in mind when they thought and watched Torchwood. Most of them had seen the last episode, or at least, well, they had seen it, let's face it. And, well, you see, we feel quite bad. Let me put it this way. We remember the 80s. We remember when the fans all sat around and said, "Oh, it's terrible, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be." This was about Doctor Who. And eventually, because we complained and moaned and people kind of took it as true and real, they took Doctor Who off us. They took us away from us. Now, we all want to moan about Torchwood. We really do. We want to have a good old-fashioned moan, but don't take us seriously. We'd rather have it on than nothing else. Please don't take it away from us. We just want it to be different. Does that make sense? So in many respects, we're all kind of, well, frightened. We're frightened to say, "I didn't like it," because that's wrong, because that might get us into trouble. And for the most part, that would also be a lie. We did quite like it. There were bits we didn't like, and I'll be covering those again. But eventually we have to come to the conclusion that we either tell the truth, or we keep our mouths shut in the hope that they won't take it away from us. Well, the non-hardcore fans, they all seem to like it. It's got great viewing figures, great audience appreciation indexes. Thank God no one asked a podcaster. Thank God no one asked any of the fans. Ordinary members of the public seem to like it. Well, I wonder what the appreciation index for the last episode's going to be, because to be honest, it's kind of disappointing. Right, I've already given my spoiler warning, so I'm not going to give any more, but just want to say, there's a hole in the centre of the earth that's an enormous bloody gash. The gash wants to give life. You can make your own logical or illogical conclusions from that. I don't even want to think about it. It's just a bloody great hole. And, well, that's it. I've sat through 10 weeks wanting an explanation, and the explanation was there's a hole that wants to make everything normal, average. The average hole that runs through the centre of the earth, obviously bypassing the Rachnos. And, like Jack implies, also having nothing to do with the Silurians. It's been there all along, so perhaps it's helped us to evolve. Perhaps it's helped us to... Oh, sod it, it's nonsense made up by Russell. Just to get in the way, it doesn't make sense. And another thing that doesn't make sense, and I'm going to get back to specifics in a moment, but at this episode, they're going to blow it up in order to make sure that it stays open forever. Yeah. And then Oswald turns up with some explosives and they start getting worried. Yeah, wasn't that their plan? Wasn't that their overriding thing? Now, a woman in a red dress whose name I don't actually care anymore about, Kissinger, I am so sorry. It's going to turn into a rant, but I can't help it. Look, episode 9 manages to take the let's blow up the camp storyline, knock them on the head, have Gwen hiding in a kind of Anne Frank kind of a way, almost creating tension, but again, not quite. And it takes Reese to solve the whole mystery. 2 months later, Russell, you've tried that gag before. It didn't work then. It just felt wrong. It felt cheated. Has the world ended? It's ended financially, but it hasn't ended well. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not important. I'm just not impressed. Does that make sense? I think so. You see, again, I'm concentrating on the negatives. There are some massively good positives. The performances also very, very good. There's character arcs. But I've just remembered the very ending. There's now another immortal on Earth set up for Plan F and B. Hey, Plan B. Yeah, let's have Plan B for another series with stars. Or not, Russell. Stop it. Torchwood was at its best when it was Monster of the Week, and I know I've tried to back out of the whole Monster of the Week, isn't it great argument with Doctor Who. But seriously, please. Rex as an immortal because he had his blood in it when the world reversed back to normal. That's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here to discuss. Look, that just annoyed me. Yes, we're the 3 families and we control everything. It's a kind of ultimate conspiracy theory. Well, you know, it just did nothing for me. Is it alright for me not to like it? For me not to get on? I've sat through 10 weeks of this storyline. I thought it was getting somewhere. The storyline with the sci-fi writer and the nice insult about all sci-fi stories being the same. Yeah, fair enough. I can see that. But, it just annoyed me. No, I'm torn again. See, again, good performances. The guy who played Q, good performance. There's just so many holes and I don't want to even use the word padding. I'm sick of using the word padding. It's not important. Right. My review of Torchwood episodes 9 and 10. Not bad. Just didn't quite do it for me. And that's not a crime. It's not their fault. It's not mine. It's just the way of things. I don't understand what the hole is. I don't understand what it was supposed to be doing. I don't understand how it worked. But then again, neither did Jack. If the Doctor was there, he could explain it. But he's not. I've never missed the Doctor that much in this storyline, but I really have now. It just didn't do it for me. It's not taking place in the Doctor universe anymore, and you know, it's not a problem for me anymore. It used to be a massive problem. How do you join this with this? It's not even taking place in the Sarah Jane Smith universe. It's like a Venn diagram that's just veering away from the truth. But hey, I'm just one guy talking about Torchwood. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it comes back. Does the existence of Rex the Immortal just make it even more like Angel, where you've got Angel the Immortal and then Spike turns up? I don't know. I can't help you there. All I can tell you is, well, hey, this was a Tin Dog podcast. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll be back with more fun, more reviews, and more chat about things other than Torchwood. So until next time, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.